to Nashville. I'm originally from Puerto Rico. Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, good to be here. I'm from Puerto Rico. Grew up there. Grew up Puerto Rican, but now I'm Mexican. I know that doesn't make any sense at all. But I was talking to a guy and he was like, "Hey man, where's that accent from?" I was like, "Puerto Rico." He was like, "Oh, cool. I've been to Mexico a couple of times." I was like, "All right, not the same place, but good to know." Yeah. When you're like a minority, you always hang out with another group of minorities, and there's always one white guy in that group that is always the most sensitive to any microaggression. So he always asks me like, "Hey, do you get mad when people hear you speak Spanish and they think that you are Mexican?" And I'm like, "No, I don't get mad about that, I know that people are not aware that Latinos are a wildly diverse group of people, You got Colombians, Venezuelans, Dominicans. It doesn't matter what Latin country you come from. When you move here, you are Mexican. Yeah. You could be Chinese, and Americans are still like, that Mexican looks Chinese." Yeah. Puerto Rico is part of the United States. I don't know if you guys knew that. You guys are smart, so probably, yeah. Some of you guys are laughing like, I just learned that. I knew that. You guys heard the excitement that I said it with? Like, oh, he just learned that fact. Yeah. Like, I have a tattoo of the shape of the island of Puerto Rico, and people look at it and they're like, "Is that Tennessee?" Which makes me believe that there's people out there that if they were to look at a map of the world and they see the island of Puerto Rico, they're gonna be like, "Why is Tennessee next to the Dominican Republic?" I was gonna drive down there, but I can't now because it's in the middle of the Caribbean Sea. Gotta change my plans. Yeah, when you move to a new country, you start learning a lot about the people that are from that country. And when I moved here, I learned that Americans are afraid of immigrants for multiple reasons. But one of them is that we bring diseases from our countries, like Ebola, malaria, and many others. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, you know what? That is not true. That fear of diseases is not only here. Like, I remember when I moved here and went back to Puerto Rico to visit for the first time, people were afraid of me because they thought I was bringing diabetes and depression. Thanks. Having fun now. Yeah, I speak Spanish. That's my first language. English is my second language. I don't know if you guys speak a second language. You guys look retarded, so I'm gonna say maybe not.
You're right.
Yeah, when you speak a second language, you're not gonna know everything about that language. There's always gonna be a language barrier. There's always gonna be stuff that you're gonna learn. Like, I didn't know that when you ask people how are you here, and they say living the dream, they're not really living the dream. Yeah. I didn't know that was a sarcastic phrase you guys use here to let people know that you hate your life. This whole time I believed it. I was like, the lady at 7-Eleven? No way, you're living your dream. She'll write a book. Yeah. Another thing that I learned was that black people use different words and phrases to make the language sound cooler. Yeah. I learned that in the most embarrassing way I could have. I held the door open for a black guy, and he was like, "Good looking, man." And I thought that he was hitting on me. I was like, "Hey, I'm not gay, but thank you. That is a nice compliment." And then he looked at me confused, and I was like, "Yeah, I think there's something wrong here." He was like, "Why is this guy declaring that he's not gay?" Yeah, that's how it is, I went on Urban Dictionary and I typed in good looking, and it just means thank you. Yeah. Urban Dictionary, if you guys don't know, that is the Black People Dictionary. Merriam-Webster, that is the White People Dictionary, That is where you find words like flabbergasted. On Urban Dictionary, you find, oh, hell no. Yeah. It's embarrassing when you first start learning a new language, you know, because inevitably you're gonna make mistakes, and that is how you learn to speak a new language. And another way that you learn a new language is by listening to words and repeating the words. And then one day you hear a word, you repeat it back, and everybody around you looks at you like you just pulled out your dick and showed it to everybody. And that is how you learn not to say the N-word. Yeah, I know. I saw the way you looked at me. You were like, that's fucked up. You're not supposed to say that. You're going to hell. I didn't know that. I was new in town and I didn't know the rules. When I moved to the United States was back in 2014. And I don't know if you guys like rap music, but back in 2014, the rapper YG had this song called My N-Word. And if you heard that song before, you know it's really hard not to sing along to that song. I didn't know I was not allowed to sing along to that song. I didn't know I was not allowed to have a good time. Yeah. It would have been nice if I had somebody waiting for me outside of the airplane when I moved here to give me a heads up, like, hey man, there's gonna be a word that sounds so cool, but you can't say. And I would have been like, good looking, man. And he was like, oh, thank you, I'm not gay, but that's nice. All right, guys, my name is Ken Rodriguez. Thank you so much.
All right, give it up for Kelly Rodriguez. Let's give it up for your next